Chapter 611 Chapter 611, Big Senior Brother is back. Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_, it's over. It's truly over now. If our big senior brother were to come back to see this situation, I wonder what he would do. What else? He'll definitely fight it out with this guy. This was the core that our big senior brother had built up painstakingly. To think that it would all disappear in the blink of an eye. If big senior brother would still talk this out with him nicely, it would only be because he's been possessed by a ghost. This is such a big affair here. Why hasn't the Grand Master and the elders stepped in to intervene yet? Looking at the heaven-raising peak, which was like a ruined wasteland right now, all of the disciples were completely befuddled. However, they were even more bewildered over another fact. The heaven-raising peak was a place that had a pretty high status within the Cloud sect. Now that something so big had happened, why hadn't the Grand Master or elders appeared at all? Could they truly not know about this? But that shouldn't be right either. Back when that human was pulling out the main hall, the shockwave that was created by that tremendous force should have been heard and sensed by anyone as long as they weren't deaf. At this moment, Grandmaster Yun and Meng Hengtian were hidden in the void, observing the situation silently. At first, some of the other powerful elders of the Cloud sect had wanted to step in to prevent this sort of an event from taking place. However, after receiving a telepathic message from the Grand Master, they remained where they were, as though they were just here for a good show. At the start, they too could not understand why the Grand Master would allow an outsider to act so brazenly within the Cloud sect. However, after giving some thought to about it, they were starting to realize what was happening. Looking at the heaven-raising peak, which was akin to a ruined wasteland, Lin Fan let out a smile. Naturally, the anger within his belly had started to diffuse. You'll tear down the house of yours truly? Then yours truly shall tear down your entire base. How dare anyone pit themselves sideways against yours truly? When yours truly stands up, even yours truly is afraid of yours truly. All of those tormented disciples of the heaven-raising peak were starting to feel fear right now. They did not know what their big senior brother would do upon coming back to a scene as such. However, they knew that their big senior brother would definitely fly into a rage. Lin Fan came down from the void and landed onto that steady ground. He did not have the intention to leave at all. However, there was one thing he could not figure out. Now that he had created such a big ruckus, why hadn't anyone appeared to stop him at all? Could it be that the Grand Master and the elders of the Cloud sect were all hard of hearing? However, if this were truly the case, this would be for the better as well. If no one were to step in, he'd just have fun going on a rampage then. At this moment, Fairy Hong Yun, Tianyun, and Elder Yun he hurried over from the distance. They were at a place far away. Upon sensing the vibration caused by the destruction of the heaven-raising peak, their faces changed immediately. This was breaking a hole through the heavens. Given their knowledge of Lu Hen's character, he was someone who would definitely seek revenge for any bit of displeasure he had. This would absolutely end in a relentless fight. Tianyun, why didn't you try to stop him? Elder Yun he lectured. Tianyun's face was stumped right now. Stop. What did he have to stop him? However, Tianyun naturally did not dare to rebuke the words of Elder Yun he at this moment. He could only bear with it silently. The moment the surrounding disciples caught sight of Elder Yun he and the others arriving, they made way for a path to walk. Elder Yun he and the others are here. However, this is all too late. Once big senior brother goes into a frenzy, it doesn't matter even if you're his relative. That's right. Even though Elder Yun he has the position of an elder, he is still unable to compare with big senior brother's position in the sect. If big senior brother were to give up on fighting for the seat of the Grand Master and convert into an elder, his position would definitely be way higher than that of Elder Yun he's right now. Also, senior sister Hong Yun is so pretty. Seems like only someone like our big senior brother is capable of having a beauty such as her. Why the hell are you still discussing about senior sister Hong Yun at a time like this? Once big senior brother is back and starts going into a rage, things would definitely go crazy. At this moment, Lin Fan stood before the ruined wastelands calmly, patting off the dust and dirt from his robes. When he turned around and caught sight of Fairy Hong Yun and the others, he let out a smile. Oh, you guys are here. Lin Fan wasn't bothered about the situation right now in the slightest bit. Today, he was going to wait right here for this so-called big senior brother to come back so that he could wallop that guy into a pig's head. Even though Lin Fan was this composed, the same couldn't be said for Elder Yun He and the others. Lin Fan, you've really caused a big trouble this time around. Elder Yun He did not know what else he could say anymore. Right now, he had an impulse to toss Lin Fan out of this sect first. Otherwise, when Lu Hen got back, a big war would definitely break out. By that time, there would be no one who could stop that tragedy, unless it was the Grand Master himself who stepped in. As for Tianyun, he was just staring at the situation with a flabbergasted look. Wasn't this way too crazy? To think that there wouldn't be a single complete structure left within the heaven-raising peak. All of them were derelict and broken. If not for the fact that Elder Yun He was here right now, Tianyun would definitely raise his thumb and congratulate Lin Fan for the job well done. How bloody awesome was this? Elder Yun He, how is this big trouble? He wrecked my house, so I wrecked his mountain peak. That's pretty fair to me, Lin Fan chuckled. Go, let's go. Follow me, Elder Yun He gripped onto Lin Fan's wrist and wanted to walk away. What are you trying to do? Looking at that haggard and exasperated look on Elder Yun He's face, Lin Fan chuckled once more. Seemed like Elder Yun He had truly been scared out of his wits. I'll escort you out of the Cloud Sect. You must never ever come back here. Once Lu Hen comes back, I'll try to hold him back as well. However far you can manage to escape, just run. This man was brought back by Elder Yun He himself. No matter what, Elder Yun He felt the responsibility to keep him safe. This man was the pride of the human race. Furthermore, he was still in the process of growing. How could he allow someone as such to perish just like this? Given Lu Hen's personality, he would definitely try to get at Lin Fan's throat. Elder Yun He could tell that Lin Fan's potential was strong. In fact, his potential was way stronger than Lu Hen's himself. However, at the end of the day, that was just potential after all. It hadn't materialized into true strength just yet. If the two of them were to clash, Lin Fan might very well fall at this very place. Elder Yun He. At this moment, Fairy Hong Yun looked over at Elder Yun He and whispered in a low voice. What? Elder Yun He looked over at Fairy Hong Yun and pondered for a moment. Suddenly, as though he had suddenly recalled something, he released his grip on Lin Fan's wrist. For such a big event to have happened, the Grand Master must have been the first to sense it. However, despite the passing of all this time, the Grand Master hadn't stepped in to intervene at all. There was only a single possibility for this. This was an event that was acknowledged by the Grand Master. Seems like the perpetrator has returned. Lin Fan raised his head into the distance. He could sense Lu Hen's aura. Elder Yun He raised his head into the distance as well. The only thing that had appeared in the horizon was a patch of redness. It seemed as though the sky was burning with the flames of rage. Fang Weifeng could not understand why his big senior brother's face would suddenly turn so terrible. Could it be that the ancient race had invaded the Cloud Sect? However, on second thought, that wasn't possible either. He had wanted to inquire more about this, but the look on his big senior brother's face had him so frightened he couldn't speak even a single word more. The ominous aura that was emanated by the big senior brother was like a massive mountain right now. It clamped down onto their hearts, turning their faces pale with fright. B*****, Lu Hen's speed was getting faster by the moment. He had not expected that human to turn up at the heaven-raising peak and cause trouble. This guy must truly be tired of living. However, when Lu Hen finally caught sight of the situation at the heaven-raising peak right now, his face turned even more terrible. How could this be? Looking at the state that the heaven-raising peak was in, Fang Weifeng's entire face was filled with disbelief. That once golden and shiny heaven-raising peak was no longer existent. Replacing it was a ruined wasteland. Just what in the world happened here? Who in the world would have the guts to do something as such? Chapter 612 Chapter 612, Engaged Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_. Who was the one who has destroyed by heaven-raising peak? Before he even arrived, his voice arrived first. This voice was filled with a boundless fury. All of the surrounding disciples who were spectating were rattled just by hearing the voice alone. This is bad. Big senior brother is back. Seems like bad luck is about to befall this human. I wonder how big senior brother is going to deal with him. I think this human is definitely in for a tragedy. Let us hurry up and make way. If we were the ones who were caught in the collateral damage caused by big senior brother's frenzy, that would be really sad. Lu Hen was staring at his heaven-raising peak blankly. The rage that was burning within his heart was so intense that it was even about to materialize into a physical state. It was gone. The heaven-raising peak was gone. I was the one who destroyed it. Lin Fan looked up at Lu Hen in the void and replied. At this point, Lu Hen was thoroughly enraged. His gaze turned and swept over to Lin Fan. Beside him, Fang Weifeng cried out loudly. Big senior brother. That's him. He's Lin Fan. The moment Fang Weifeng saw that someone had attacked the heaven-raising peak, his entire heart was going berserk. Just what sort of an A*shoal would have such guts to attack the mountain peak of the big senior brother? If he weren't courting death, what was he doing? However, once he caught sight of Lin Fan, his entire face changed into one of wrath. I'll kill you. Lu Hen seethed out these words while grinding his teeth together nastily. Lu Hen, what are you trying to do? Elder Yun He spoke up. Lu Hen turned his gaze over to Elder Yun He. His face was as terrible as ever. Yun He, I gave you face at the start and did not head down to kill him. To think that he would dare to lay waste to my heaven-raising peak. No matter who it is today, no one shall be able to intervene for him. If you want to protect him, we'll just have to see whether you've got what it takes. Even though Elder Yun He was trying to stay calm despite the situation, he was actually in a flurry within his heart. Just what was the Grandmaster planning with this? All right. All of you make way. The reason why I'm here today is to make certain a single fact. I want to know whether it's because my temper is too good that everyone's trampling on my toes. Lin Fan pried away Elder Yun He and the others and glared straight at Lu Hen. Good, very good. Lu Hen's anger was bursting through the roof right now. He looked at Fairy Hong Yun who was standing at the side. Junior sister Hong Yun, make way. Hong Yun, do make way. Trust me. Lin Fan's expression was calm. Han Yun looked at Lin Fan before nodding her head. You take care. All right. Fairy Han Yun knew that this matter was unavoidable. However, she believed that Lin Fan wouldn't take part in something he didn't have the confidence in. Lin Fan's speed of cultivation could only be described by alarming. Compared to just a month earlier, he had undergone a crazy change. His aura was getting more mysterious and deeper than ever. What's the relationship between senior sister Hong Yun and this man? Who knows? But take a look. Big senior brother is getting even more aggravated. Lu Hen realized that his junior sister Hong Yun did not make way even after his request. However, to think that a single sentence from this man would have junior sister Hong Yun listening to him. Not only that, she had even dropped him a reply of concern. Right now, Lu Hen was boiling. Not only had this man destroyed his heaven-raising peak, he was even flirting with junior sister Hong Yun before his very eyes. Damn it. God damn it. Your big senior brother Lu Hen? Lin Fan grinned at Lu Hen. He wasn't fearful of this person in the least bit. HMPH. Are you begging for my mercy now? It's too late. The moment you destroyed my mountain peak, the date of your death had already been determined. Lu Hen barked. Actually, the one who should beg for mercy is you. The moment you destroyed my house, your outcome has already been determined. Lin Fan smiled indifferently. HMPH, human. You're really way too brazen. The heaven-raising peak you've destroyed today belongs to big senior brother. No one will be able to save you. Fang Weifeng lashed out in rage. To think that this guy would dare to tear down big senior brother's mountain peak. Since that was the case, he could complain to no one if he died here. There was no way this fella could be a match for their big senior brother. All of the other senior disciples who were vying for the Grandmaster seat with Lu Hen stood nearby and watched keenly. Well, who do you guys think will win? Honestly, I'm hoping that it's the human. But of course, there's basically no chance of that happening. Lu Hen's cultivation speed is insane. He has long broken through the bottleneck into a brand new state by now. No matter how strong this human is, there's no way he's a match for Lu Hen. It no longer matters who's the winner, to be honest. That human has destroyed the heaven-raising peak and devoured countless treasures. Lu Hen has lost all of his supplies and core. What does he have to compete with us in the future? That's true as well. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. If this human manages to survive, I guess it's time for us to treat him to a drink, ha ha ha. With the situation right now, there were many people gloating over Lu Hen's misfortune. As for Lin Fan's life or death, they couldn't be bothered in the least bit. Grandmaster, are we truly going to let them go at it? Meng Hengtian could tell that this great battle was practically inevitable right now. Initially, I had intended to step in only at this moment. But just take a look at how fearless that human is. He's a man with guts. I do want to see how this turns out. If things truly turn bad, we'll step in by then. Grandmaster Yun replied. Meng Hengtian nodded his head in agreement. He too had noticed that this human seemed to be pretty confident in his odds. Right now, Lu Hen was already a divine celestial level 6, law state being. Even some of the elders weren't a match for him. Just what sort of a background did this human have such to be able to claim victory over Lu Hen? According to the report of Hong Yun, this human had tided through his paradise thunder calamity within the fire-water secret grounds. By right, he should be a divine celestial level 3, paradise state being. Even if he were truly that incredible that he could break through his cultivation state in a single month, that'd put him as a divine celestial level 4, undying state being at best. In the divine celestial cultivation state, each state represented an insurmountable gap in strength. Even if one could fight above their levels, that was something that was beyond rare to begin with. Could this human have more up his sleeves? Come on, strike then. Today, I shall have you know that no one messes with Lin Fan. Lin Fan's aura changed all of a sudden. Divine Celestial Level 6, Law State. Even though this person was 2 states higher than him, Lin Fan was still devoid of fear right now. Right now, his paradise was pretty strong. Furthermore, ever since he had entered the undying state, his blood sea and eternal god body were mutually inclusive, raising his physical body state to a maximum peak status. Since you're courting death, I shall grant that to you. Lu Hen roared as he pushed Fang Weifeng and the others aside. He disappeared instantly, and the next time he appeared, he was right before Lin Fan's face. Go to hell. Instantly, Lu Hen's gigantic palm opened up. His fingers were connected to the heaven and earth, bringing for him an infinite amount of power as he sealed up every single one of Lin Fan's escape paths. He wanted to seize Lin Fan's life with this single move. To think that Lu Hen would turn this strong. Seems like he's connected to the laws of the heaven and earth with that single move. Who knew that he's entered a divine celestial level 6, law state right now? All of the disciples who were vying for power with Lu Hen were incredibly shocked right now. They had not realized that Lu Hen's powers had grown to this extent. Grandmaster Yun and Meng Hengtian nodded their heads. Indeed, Lu Hen was someone with a really high innate potential. If not for his character flaws, he would undoubtedly be the best candidate for the next Grandmaster. They wondered how that human was going to defend against this. HMPH. You really think you can kill me with a single slap? You're looking down on me way too much. Lin Fan pointed out with his finger. His finger was shining with the 9th sword will of the firmament sword. On that finger, the sword will was overbearing, manifesting into a world of sword will on its own as it slashed down at everything before it. Destroy. That was a surprisingly simple-looking finger that didn't seem as though it wielded any power to it. However, the power that it contained would be enough to devastate the entire world. Chapter 613. None. While others might not be able to make out Lin Fan's strength, it was definitely evident for Lu Hen who was engaging with him right now. What a sharp sword will. Lu Hen had not expected this human to be this strong. That single finger seemed to possess a heavy load on its own. To think that a single flash would seem to chop down everything before it, blocking out that palm of his. But even if that were the case, so what? No matter what, he would definitely have the human lay down his life right here today. Even though Lin Fan was only a divine celestial level 4, undying state being, his powers were steady and boundless like the vast seas. If it were compared to this Lu Hen, the difference wouldn't be that much at all. Lin Fan's left hand was hidden behind his back at this moment. He had the intention of slamming the other party into oblivion with his brick. Or perhaps he should make use of his bigra to turn this person into the perverted demon of the Cloud sect. Lin Fan's figure flashed left and right momentarily as he strode through the sky. The spirit of the Doomsday God howled out, bringing with it its apocalyptic powers down at Lu Hen. To think that this human isn't losing to Lu Hen at all. This is way too incredible. The surrounding disciples were exclaiming in shock. They were starting to realize that this human was actually matching up with Lu Hen. Indeed, this strength that he possessed must have been the reason why he had dared to go against the big senior brother so arrogantly. Within the library, Lin Fan had read intensively. With that, he was able to comprehend a lot of things that he had never once understood. Because of that, all of his skills received a big booster. Every strike he made caused the entire heavens and earth to tremble under its extraordinary might. Even if Lu Hen's cultivation state was higher than Lin Fan's, so what? However, there was something that was troubling Lin Fan right now. Well, it was pretty troublesome that Lu Hen had comprehended the law state. He had wanted to take down Lu Hen with pure brute strength. But it didn't seem like this was possible anymore. With that being the case, he could only go with the devious and sneaky path then. HMPH. Lu Hen, seems like that's all you can amount to after all. So what if my cultivation state is lower than yours? You're a flower within a greenhouse. The only thing you know of is to kick back and enjoy life. Right now, Lin Fan was going to start on his life philosophies. Courting death. Lu Hen's face turned extremely grim. He had not expected this human to be this strong. To think that he couldn't even take down the other party within this short period of time. At this moment, Lin Fan was flashing and appearing randomly in all directions around Lu Hen. A fist, a palm strike, a sword. All of them possessed a skill god of their own that lashed out each time he struck. Big senior brother? So, you mean that the other disciples are calling you the big senior brother even with such standards of yours? This paradise was a place that was created by your founder ancestor for you guys to have a place to train up and prepare yourselves for the war against the ancient race. To think that as a big senior brother, you would spend lavishly to turn your heaven-raising peak into such an extravagant playground. Even the main hall of the Grand Master isn't as grand as yours. Look at all of these disciples. What have they entered this sect to learn? Naturally, they're here to learn how to kill the ancient race beings and protect their loved ones. But look at you, you're just pampering them all for your selfish dreams of wanting to be the Grand Master yourself. Even though Lin Fan did not know of the true facts behind Lu Hen's life, this was practically the same case for every sect out there. Furthermore, by the looks of the heaven-raising peak, Lin Fan could easily harbor a guess. But honestly, everything aside, Lin Fan's blind guess had really hit the mark. The moment the surrounding disciples heard these words, their faces changed gradually. Suddenly, they were recalling the true purpose and motives as to why they had entered the sect. Firstly, it was to protect their own lives. Secondly, it was to learn how to slay the ancient race beings. However, they had changed bit by bit after all sorts of experiences without even realizing it. In fact, there was even a lingering feeling of wanting to stay within the Cloud sect for the rest of their lives. After all, this place was really safe, freeing them from any burdens and troubles. You trash-talking piece of sh*t. Today, I must definitely kill you. Lu Hen had not expected this man to spill out the thoughts within his mind. Because of that, he growled out in anger. Why, you're turning your embarrassment into rage now that I have hit it on the bullseye, eh? Oh, right then. How about let us take a look at our rankings on the fugitive list then? HMPH. As a divine celestial level 6, law state being, your ranking on the fugitive list is only around the range of 300,000? Aren't you ashamed of yourself? Even though I'm only a divine celestial level 4, undying state being, my ranking on the fugitive list is more than enough to drag you around by the feet for a few streets now. The moment the surrounding disciples heard these words, they were suddenly startled. Even though their big senior brother's cultivation state was pretty high, he had rarely exited the sect to kill ancient race beings. Therefore, his ranking on the fugitive list must definitely not be that high either. However, since this human said that his ranking was pretty high, they were pretty curious to see just how high his ranking was. Immediately, the surrounding disciples who were spectating took out their fugitive lists and checked. Suddenly, a disciple who was checking on the fugitive list yelled out in shock. "What? To think that this human is 200 on the list." The moment these words were spoken, everyone was completely stumped. All of the disciples who hadn't checked the fugitive list began to fumble for their fugitive list immediately. After keying in Lin Fan's name, they were all shocked silly by those blood-red words. Just how many ancient race beings had this guy killed? 200. Upon hearing this ranking, Lin Fan was stunned as well. To think that his ranking would jump forth again. Seemed like that entire ancient race army which was tricked to death by him had caused his ranking to bolt up the entire list as though it was seated on a rocket for the moon. This fugitive list was something that was created by the heaven's will of the ancient saint world. Even though he wasn't the one who had killed that ancient race army, they were tricked to death by him nevertheless. Seemed like the heaven's will of the ancient saint world had decided to throw this entire debt on his head. How? Did you hear that? Look at your ranking again. And you're truly not embarrassed to call yourself the big senior brother of the Cloud sect? In my opinion, you're thoroughly lost within the world of enjoyment right now. In fact, if the ancient race were to infiltrate and attack the Cloud sect, I've no doubt that you'd definitely be the first to run. To be honest, Lin Fan truly had a flair for speaking. He could turn any lies into truths immediately. Even though Lu Hen wasn't much of a man, he still wasn't as bad as what Lin Fan was making him out to be. Shut up. How dare you smear my reputation as such? Lu Hen's face was getting worse by the moment. His entire face was practically white with rage at this moment. Whether or not I'm smearing, you know it best in your heart. Look at all your surrounding disciples. Even though their cultivation states aren't that high, at least they're not trying to vie for some powerful position such as the seat of the Grand Master. Their hearts are intent on taking down the ancient race and rescuing the beings of the thousands of races. How about you guys tell me then? Is that the type of people you guys are in your hearts? Lin Fan avoided Lu Hen's rebuttal and turned around, shouting at all of the spectating disciples. Right now, the expressions of all the disciples were stunned. Especially on hearing such words, there was no way they could refute this. Then it was settled. This was the way they were. Even though this human had a grudge with their big senior brother, his words were truly resonating at the bottom of their hearts. Yes. The reason for me entering the Cloud sect is just so that I can raise my cultivation state and take down the ancient race and rescue the beings of the thousands of races. Suddenly, a disciple burst out yelling. His entire neck was red right now. That's right. The reason why we came over to the Cloud sect was so that we could help the beings of the thousands of races from the suppression of the ancient race. Me too. Even though my cultivation state is only that of a divine celestial level 2, realm state being, the number of ancient race beings that died in my hands are numerous. On the fugitive list, my ranking is in the 230,000s. I'm even higher than our big senior brother, my ranking is in the 280,000s. I'm higher than our big senior brother too. I'm higher than our big senior brother too. All of these disciples were shouting out with pride after checking their own names on the fugitive list. The fact that they were higher than their big senior brother on the fugitive list was a form of pride in its own. Grandmaster Yun looked down at the invigorated and hyped tone of his disciples and nodded his head, heartened. However, there was something that's wrong with the situation right now. Lu Hen. Take a look. Look at the achievements of these disciples whom you had always looked down on. Their achievements surpass yours even. Are you ashamed just yet? But that's about right as well. My cultivation state is lower than yours, yet you're having such troubles killing me. Seems like you're just a pansy flower in a greenhouse. Good to see, but barely functional, At this moment, Lin Fan had not expected this. To think that Lu Hen would spit out a mouthful of blood over his words. Chapter 614 Translator, Lam Editor, Hitesh. Listening to those prideful claims of the disciples nearby, Lu Hen's blood was starting to boil. My ranking is higher than that of big senior brother, my ranking is also higher than that of big senior brother. These relentless claims made their way into Lu Hen's ears, causing him to break down entirely. Why the hell was every single one of them intent on competing with him right now? Lu Hen was regretting his actions right now. Why hadn't he killed more ancient race beings? Following his struggle to fight for the seat of the Grand Master, he had completely neglected the issue with the ancient race entirely. All he did was take his junior brothers with him to run through secret grounds in order to display his strength as a big senior brother. To think that these disciples would get all fired up after a few words from this human. This wasn't something that Lu Hen had ever expected. All right. All of you are the true pride of the Cloud Sect then. Look at your big senior brother there. Even though his strength is much higher than all of you, he can't even be compared to you guys when it comes to killing the ancient race beings. The Cloud Sect belongs to everyone, not just a single person. How can we allow ourselves to live amidst such strife for power? Lin Fan was beginning to blab out his nonsense once more. However, the more he said, the more he was starting to agree with his very own words, and how much sense they made. As for these surrounding disciples, they found themselves nodding with every word that Lin Fan said as well. Suddenly, they realized how right this human was about everything. It was especially that phrase of "your big senior brother can't even be compared to you guys" that was etched entirely within their hearts. They had not expected the fugitive list to be so good that it would have them stand above their big senior brother in the blink of an eye. None looking at the situation before him, Lin Fan could feel that it was about time by now. However, since he had already come to this point, there was no point in not creating a perfect ending to this act. Lu Hen. The only thing you do is lust for greed and enjoyment. How dare you fight with the others just for your selfish wish of wanting to be the Grand Master? Do you acknowledge your wrongdoings? Lin Fan continued to retreat while pointing his finger and lashing out at Lu Hen. Scram! Lu Hen screamed out in rage. As he used both his palms to slap out, the entire heaven and earth seemed as though they were about to be shattered. Paradise, initiate. Instantly, Lin Fan caged Lu Hen within his paradise. You foolish thing. How dare you pull me within your paradise? Today, I shall destroy your paradise entirely and ensure that your entire core is devastated, Lu Hen roared berserkly. Every fist of his resembled a dragon that gushed out with immense force, smashing out on the crystallized walls of the paradise. Shing! The crystallized walls of the paradise vibrated gently while letting out small ripples of their own. How could this be? To think that single fist of his hadn't caused the other party's paradise to be destroyed entirely? Seeing this, Lu Hen was utter shocked, revealing a look of disbelief. Oh, you braindead f***ck, Lin Fan wasn't nervous in the least bit. Now that his paradise had gone through the Paradise Thunder calamity, it was far from ordinary. This guy really thought that he could smash down the paradise of yours truly in a single fist? What a big, big dreamer he was. Without any hesitation, Lin Fan went at it with all he had. The power of Bigra erupted out instantly, turning into countless balls of thick mist that flew out at the face of Lu Hen. What's this? Looking at these balls of smoke floating towards him, Lu Hen let out a look of shock. This is your lifesaver. Lin Fan's body flashed instantly as he leapt out towards Lu Hen as well. Doomsday Calamity God Fist. Demon God Wheel. ... In the blink of an eye, all of the skill gods darted out together. It didn't matter whether or not they would have any use. The most important thing right now was to get Lu Hen's blood rumbling, so that he was able to take in the effects of Bigra even more receptively. Right now, no one on the outside could see within the paradise at all. Now that Lin Fan's paradise possessed its own Tao, it was extremely easy for him to isolate the happenings within from the outside world entirely. Therefore, no one from the top down of the entire Cloud Sect could make out anything that was happening within the paradise entirely. The chi of Bigra was colorless and odorless. Lu Hen took it in one big breath at a time, not feeling anything strange about this just yet. Lin Fan, you be **starred. I swear that I won't rest till you're dead. Lu Hen's eyes were reddening. He had never once lost his face as such. To think that this human had not only destroyed his heaven-raising peak, but had also caused him to lose his image in front of all the disciples. If he didn't kill this guy, there was no way he was going to appease this hatred that was burning within his heart. Io. Relentless, aren't you? Who the hell are you trying to scare, man? Tell me, what are you feeling right now? Lin Fan tossed his robes back and asked in an imposing manner. I feel like killing you, Lu Han howled out in rage. However, his face changed almost instantaneously. His breathing was getting hurried now. The power that was surging within his body was striking at Lu Han's mental self repeatedly. Even his essence spirit felt as though it was being infected by this feeling. Go f***ck the ground, Lin Fan spat out 4 words, but it was as though a law was tied with them. To his terror, Lu Han realized that his body was no longer under his control. He did not know what this man had done to him. Why was this happening? Even though you're trying to resist it in your heart, your body is pretty honest, eh? Since they were within the Cloud Sect right now, Lin Fan felt that no matter what, he would have to give the Grand Master of the Cloud Sect some face. Furthermore, Lin Fan could tell that this man before him was a genius as well. His potential was pretty decent. Not only that, his position within the Cloud Sect was pretty respectable. If he were to kill this man, he would definitely attract trouble with it. B***stard thing. Stop this right now, piak. Piak. A series of sounds rang out as Lu Han laid down sprawling on the ground. Up and down, his speed was immense. Looking at the state Lu Han was in right now, Lin Fan burst out laughing. However, his face turned apologetic almost immediately. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about this. The ground in my paradise is pretty hard. Lin Fan realized that there was something off about Lu Han's actions. Upon closer inspection, he realized that the ground in his paradise was way too tough, that Lu Han couldn't penetrate through it at all. However, even a drop of water can cause a hole within a stone if it dripped down continuously. If Lu Han were to keep up with his perseverance, he would definitely be able to poke out a big hole in the paradise. Thunder Trainer King. Hurry up and come out. It's training time. Lin Fan waved his hand and immediately, out popped the Academy of Electroconvulsive Therapy. Twerking his bum left and right, the Thunder Trainer King bounced out from within happily. Master. Here I am. The Thunder Trainer King was elated beyond words. To think that his master would manage to get yet another living being. And by the looks of this living being looked pretty strong. Incredible. This was way too incredible. Ha ha. At this moment, Lin Fan and the Thunder Trainer King were standing side by side. They looked at Lu Han while sniggering sinisterly. Waving his hand, the Thunder Trainer King turned into a long whip. Lu Han, do you submit? Lin Fan chuckled out while wielding the long whip. Lu Han was spitting out blood while seeking the ground. He had not expected himself to ever do something as such. Shame. This was an utter shame. I'm going to kill you. I'll definitely kill you for sure, Lu Han howled in fury. He felt as though he was going to go insane. Oh, don't speak anymore. I know you're definitely indignant. But, don't worry. I'll have you loving me before long. Lin Fan smiled casually, somewhat excited. After all, it had been a long time since he took on the whip to train someone personally. In fact, this Lu Han should be the first person he was training up personally ever since he had ascended. To Lin Fan, this was Lu Han's honor. It was an honor to be able to receive Lin Fan's personal care and concern. What a glorious honor this was for him. Chapter 615 Chapter 615 This is an unbelievable scene. Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_ with a long whip in hand, the world shall bow before me. This was especially the case for this long whip which was transformed from the Thunder Trainer King. Its might was exceptionally earth-shattering. There was nothing in this world it couldn't tame. Furthermore, the berserk look on Lu Han's face had Lin Fan even more excited. The more the opponent resisted, the more turned on he was. At this moment, the Thunder Trainer King was especially excited as well. It had been such a long time, and he finally had the chance to train up a truly powerful being. Beast. You'll have a terrible death, Lu Han howled out in rage. His heart was beyond anguished right now. To think that he would be treated by this human in such a humiliating manner right now. As the big senior brother of the Cloud Sect, he was the idol in the hearts of so many Cloud Sect disciples. Furthermore, he was the best candidate as the next Grand Master of the sect. How could he die right here in the arms of a human? He wanted to resist. However, his body betrayed his intentions. Furthermore, he was especially ashamed of the fact that his body was secretly feeling sensations of pleasure along with his actions right now. Lin Fan's wrist jerked a little. The whip in his hand was like a torrential wave that surged up into the skies, creating a massive amount of energy reverberations. The whip seemed as though it had a life of its own. It was sharp like a snake, filled with an immense strength to it. Stop this, Lu Hen was utterly shocked right now. To think that this fellow would be tearing off his pants. Oh, not too bad, eh? This is some snow-white skin you've got. Seems like it's pretty bouncy too. Stuff like this was something Lin Fan had seen way too many times by now. But this little ass of Lu Hen was one he could not help but praise a little. Piak. The moment the whip lashed out on the bum of Lu Hen, its imprint appeared immediately. That red mark was stretched across the width of Lu Hen's bum. "Ah!" Lu Hen cried out tragically. Pain was not the only feeling he was having. There was an additional sense of shame to it. Do you submit? Do you acknowledge your wrongdoings by now? Kill me if you've got the guts. I'll never submit to you, Lu Hen yelled out loudly. His eyes were wide open right now as though they were filled with disbelief. He could not believe that this human would truly dare to do it. How could he even do something so shameless as such? What sort of a pervert was he? Io. You still wanna talk back, eh? However, every single person I've ever trained up was always indignant as well. But, at the end of the day, the outcome was always the same. Since that's the case, I'll have to go serious with you then. Lin Fan chuckled out. In a jiffy, his essence, spirit and vitality reached its maximum point. The ultimate move of training was unleashed. With a single whip up, Lu Hen was rendered floating in the skies. Air flower style whipping. 360 degrees no dead angle whipping. The skies were filled with shadows of the whips as his aura expanded out rapidly. The entire scene was unbearable to watch. Do you submit? You, Lu Hen's inner heart was surging like flooding rivers right now, slamming at his doors continuously. He wanted to howl out in rage, but he couldn't bear to open his mouth. This was because he had suddenly realized that his heart was beginning to change. There was a weird sensation that was embedded within the depths of his heart. In fact, Lu Hen could tell that it was pleasure that was coursing through him. How could this be? Impossible, there's no way I could be having feelings like these, but why does it feel so good that I want it to continue? ... Each time he trained, Lin Fan would console himself a little. This was all for the sake of rescuing the lost sheep instead of fulfilling this perverse satisfaction in his heart. Of course, it was a heavy responsibility one had to bear if they wanted to guide the lost ones. And, he would be the one to bear this. Outside, all of the Cloud Sect disciples were glancing at one another. They did not know what was going on inside right now. This paradise encompassed everything, causing them to be blinded to the happenings within. What was going on with the big senior brother and that human within at this moment? Even though they were extremely bewildered, there was nothing they could do. Grandmaster, this paradise is really unique. To think that it could even block out our detection. Meng Hengtian exclaimed in astonishment. The cultivation state of that human was nowhere as strong as theirs. But, to think that his paradise could isolate everything away from it. That was incredible to say the least. Grandmaster Yun was indifferent, the paradise thunder calamity that it thing went through was extremely strong. Even the Tao of my own paradise is nothing compared to his. Therefore, it's extremely normal that it would elude our detection. Ah, Grandmaster. Your paradise is something that had gone through 188 spirit chi cyclones, Meng Hengtian gasped in disbelief. How could he believe that this human's paradise could be stronger than their Grandmaster's? Grandmaster Yun smiled without replying. All he did was glare at that paradise before him. He wanted to see just how strong this paradise could get. Everyone was waiting patiently. They did not know what the outcome would be like, nor did they know what their big senior brother and the human were doing within. However, if they were to know that the big senior brother that they respected and revered was suffering a world of humiliation within, their eyeballs would definitely pop right out of their sockets. Shing! A gigantic vibration rang out as the paradise dispersed. Everyone opened their eyes widely, curious beyond words in their hearts. The moment the paradise dispersed, Grandmaster Yun could sense two distinct auras emanating from it. With that, he smiled out. Both of them are fine. All of the disciples exclaimed. Two figures stood there without budging a single inch. Lin Fan smiled indifferently. Hands behind his back, his eyes shone with a brilliant gleam. As for Lu Hen, he just stood there expressionlessly. He did not know what had just happened. What's going on? Why is Big Senior Brother just standing there with that human? Aya. This is really wrecking my nerves. Just what in the world happened within that paradise? Grandmaster Yun was pretty puzzled right now as well. Lu Hen. For the seat of the Grandmaster, you colluded within the sect and bribed your fellow disciples. In order to vie for the seat of the Grandmaster, you chose to forget all about the sufferings of the beings of the thousands of races out there who are being oppressed tragically by the ancient race. Do you acknowledge your sins? Lin Fan opened his mouth casually, asking a question that had everyone's jaws dropping apart. Holy F***CK. Has this human been whacked silly by our Big Senior Brother? To think that he would continue with these questions at a time like this. Who knows? Also, what's up with Big Senior Brother? Within the paradise, Lin Fan was really pleased with the results of this round of training. As for the Thunder Trainer King, he was so satisfied that he was practically bouncing around with every step right now. This was an absolutely magical feeling for the Thunder Trainer King, the feeling of the body of a powerful being passing through his hands. Amazing. Marvelous. At this moment, something that had everyone shocked happened. Lu Hen dropped to his knees with a thud. His face was filled with tears. Burying his head deep into the ground, he cried out in anguish. I was wrong. These 3 words were like surging waves for everyone from the Cloud sect. How could this be? To think that Big Senior Brother would bow down for his mistakes. Am I going blind right now? Big Senior Brother is an unparalleled genius. He's never bowed down to anyone, ever. Just what has this human said to our Big Senior Brother within the place? The disciples weren't the only shocked ones right now. Even Grandmaster Yun's face was entirely stunned. If not for the fact that Lu Hen's aura had not changed, he might have thought that this was all fake. Grandmaster. This, Meng Hengtian stared at the Grandmaster blankly. I'm afraid Lu Hen must have undergone some sort of trial within the paradise. But this is all for the best as well. This is the Lu Hen that we had known from the start. Even though it would cause the Cloud sect to lose some face by having the Big Senior Brother of their sect kneeling down in acknowledgement of his wrongdoings, this was something that the Grandmaster had always wanted to see. Yes, you were wrong. However, you've also hurt all of these disciples who had always admired you. So, turn around and apologize to them as well. From this day forth, you must turn over a new leaf and be a good person, all right? Lin Fan was like a respectable elder at this moment. Revealing a concerned smile, he seemed really heartened. Lu Hen then stood up and faced all the other disciples. The disciples stared at this Big Senior Brother of theirs with a dazed look on their faces. They had realized that the world seemed to have changed. It changed so much that they were in disbelief right now. What the hell is going on with their Big Senior Brother? Chapter 616 Chapter 616, Whack Me. Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_, my fellow junior brothers and sisters. I'm sorry. Boom. The moment these words came out of Lu Hen's mouth, the disciples collapsed onto the ground one by one, as though they had just received an unbearable blow. To them, they must truly have been seeing a ghost right now. Otherwise, how else would they explain this behavior of their Big Senior Brother? All of the other senior disciples who were vying for the seat of the Grandmaster with Lu Hen were incredibly shocked as well, unable to believe this scene before their very eyes. Just what sort of a being was this human? To think that even Lu Hen would be subjugated beneath him. Cough, cough, Lin Fan faked a few coughs. Now, your Big Senior Brother here has turned over a new leaf. From this day forth, he shall focus all of his efforts against the ancient race. I hope that all of you guys do not put his past actions to heart and let bygones be bygones. The disciples around looked at Lin Fan, then at their Big Senior Brother. Eventually, they accepted this as the truth reluctantly. What else could they do? As for Fang Weifeng, he was nowhere to be found. The moment the big senior brother knelt down and acknowledged his mistake, Fang Weifeng was scared so ****, as though he had just seen a ghost, that he fled with all he had. Lin Fan was extremely satisfied with the outcome today. Seemed like it was a pretty decent choice to have this Lu Hen be trained up. Not only was Lu Hen's strength decent, his potential was pretty decent as well. If he were to kill this man, it'd be quite the pity. After all, the ancient saint world had a shortage of talents. How could he let someone as such die in his hands? At the same time, Lin Fan reckoned that it should be about time to leave the Cloud Sect now. After all, his aim wasn't to continue messing around in the Cloud Sect. Now that he had already been to the library of the Cloud Sect, it was time to head out for the ancient race beings by now. It was only in the outside world that he could level up his strength in the fastest possible way. Right now, the 8 utmost beings of the ancient race were like tremendous mountains crushing on the back of his mind, suffocating his state of being. Grandmaster Yun, I know that you've arrived. Would you please come out? Lin Fan waved at the void. The talent and the pride of the human race is as claimed indeed. You are definitely extraordinary. At this moment, Grandmaster Yun, who was hidden in the void, walked out briskly. He was getting more interested in this human by the moment. Grandmaster. The moment the disciples caught sight of who it was, all of them greeted respectfully. At this point, they realized that the Grandmaster had been here the entire time. It was just that he had chosen to be hidden within the void. Grandmaster Yun nodded to these disciples, then looked at Lin Fan. Could I borrow you for a talk? Sure. After Lin Fan left with the Grandmaster, the disciples looked at one another, then at their big senior brother. They were completely befuddled right now. Within the main hall, a series of objections were coming through. This won't do, Grandmaster Yun. I'm long used to being alone. Furthermore, back in the lower world, I am the Grandmaster of the Saint Devil sect. The reason why I'm here in the ancient saint world is to re-establish my Saint Devil sect. Therefore, despite your kindness and graciousness, I'm afraid I can only apologize instead of acceding. Grandmaster Yun, Lin Fan had not expected for Grandmaster Yun to request for him to take on the seat of the next Grandmaster of the Cloud Sect. Bloody hell. What kind of a joke was this? Even though yours truly couldn't deny that he was truly awesome, oh, and really handsome too, it was evident to anyone that this Cloud Sect was just like a bad debt to clear. Now that he had converted one Lu Hen, there were still a bunch of others that were waiting. At this moment, Lin Fan only had a single thought in his mind. He wanted to raise his power level as quickly as possible and F***ck over the utmost beings of the ancient race. Other than that, he had nothing else on his mind. Grandmaster Yun had not expected Lin Fan's rejection for his proposal to be so decisive. For a moment, he was at a loss for words. Grandmaster Yun, you've got an unparalleled understanding of the Cloud Sect. It is only under your guidance that the Cloud Sect can continue to grow and flourish. As for me, I'm long accustomed to being alone. The reason I agreed to the talk was so that I could convey my thanks and goodbye to you so that I can leave this place. Lin Fan continued. Are you truly not going to consider it at all? Grandmaster Yun was slightly reluctant towards this outcome. Hence, he pressed on once more. Nope, not at all. Lu Hen has turned over a new leaf right now. From here on forth, his heart shall be for the beings of the thousands of races. If you truly have to look for a new Grandmaster, he would undoubtedly be the best candidate. After all, Lu Hen was someone who had been trained up successfully by him. Whether or not the seat of the Grandmaster went to him or Lu Hen, it would still belong to him at the end of the day. Looking at the resolute face on Lin Fan, Grandmaster Yun eventually sighed and relented. Eventually, this was probably too small for that human's aspirations. Grandmaster Yun, I'd like to inquire about the cultivation states of the utmost beings of the ancient race. Are all of them at the divine celestial level 10, eternal God state? Lin Fan had not seen any one of the utmost beings just yet. As such, he was curious about how their cultivation states would be like. Not lower than level 10. Grandmaster Yun replied. At the same time, his expression turned grim. For the beings of the thousands of races, the utmost beings of the ancient race were like a mountain that could never topple over. Even if the entire cloud sect were to strike out together, they would still come across as nothing but a bunch of ants to the utmost being, and would most likely be overwhelmed by him with the back of their palms. Not lower than level 10? Lin Fan's expression changed slightly. He was unable to comprehend this properly for now. However, so be it. No matter how strong the utmost beings of the ancient race were, there would surely come the day where he would overthrow them. The ancient saint world is divided into 8 districts. As for this district of ours, it's controlled by the utmost being under the name of Cruel, Grandmaster Yun replied. 10,000 years ago, was the utmost being of this district the Ancient One? Lin Fan asked. That's right. However, there were 5 powerful beings of the human race who had joined forces and lured the Ancient One out of the ancient saint world. From there on, no one knew of what happened to them. However, it was these 5 powerful beings who allowed us the time we have right now. As for the other 7 districts, the beings of the thousands of races are having it way tougher than we ever could have. Under the reign of the utmost being of the ancient race, the suffering they're enduring right now is something that's unimaginable for most people, Grandmaster Yun elaborated. Lin Fan sighed. Seemed like this district was already considered one of the better ones. However, at this moment, Lin Fan's thoughts turned to the 2 consciousness he had met down in the lower world. The Namo Saint Emperor and the female Empress. He wondered where these 2 fellas were right now. After, Lin Fan chatted with Grandmaster Yun for quite some time. Lin Fan, is there anything you need? Grandmaster Yun realized that Lin Fan was finding it difficult to say something. Understanding that the other party must definitely have some request to make, Grandmaster Yun took the initiative to ask. By now, Lin Fan was starting to realize how bloody dangerous this ancient saint world was. With that, he wanted to gain that bit more survivability. Well, this, Grandmaster Yun. I do have a difficult request to make, Lin Fan spoke up. It's all right. As long as I can do it, I'll have it done for you. Grandmaster Yun replied. He had really high regards for Lin Fan. After all, this was the pride and savon of the human race, the hope of the beings of the thousands of races. Even if it meant sacrificing his own life, he would do it without a thought. Furthermore, it was beyond rare to have someone like him, who was as comprehensive and understanding of living beings. Whack me, Lin Fan said. Huh, Grandmaster Yun was stunned, as though he had misheard Lin Fan. What? You want me to whack you? That's right, Lin Fan nodded his head affirmatively. At this point, Lin Fan's physical body state was that of a divine celestial level 4, undying state being. Other than using the heaven and earth smelt to strengthen his physical body state, the other way was to have a powerful being whack him. But, if Lin Fan had to make a choice, he would still go for the latter. After all, that was the most comfortable way of going by it. My body type is special. At the same time, I've mastered a physical body skill. However, this physical body skill requires me to come at it with immense external force. Therefore, if Grandmaster Yun is willing to help out with this, I would be immensely grateful to you. Lin Fan had checked Grandmaster Yun through his system and knew that Grandmaster Yun's strength was pretty decent. Huh? Is there truly a body type of that sort? Grandmaster Yun was apparently taken aback. This was the first time he had heard of something as such. All right, let me know what I should do then. The stronger you get, the more hope we have for the beings of the thousands of races. Grandmaster Yun did not give it any further thoughts as he agreed to it. Looking at the acceptance of Grandmaster Yun towards his proposal, Lin Fan's body jerked in extreme exhilaration. He was going to gain big this time around. Chapter 617. None with such a powerful being here whacking himself, wouldn't his physical body state skyrocket into the heavens? Lin Fan had always wished to meet with a powerful being who would act according to his whims, starting with low strength before increasing stronger gradually. However, he hadn't come across this chance at all. Back when Lin Fan first caught sight of Grandmaster Yun in the sect, the idea had already come across his mind at that point of time. A divine celestial level 8, universal elixir powerful being. If he were to persevere through all the whacking, his physical body state would definitely soar immensely. By that time, wouldn't he just tread across the entire ancient saint world with overbearingness? If I can't beat you, fine. But, at least you're not going to be able to kill yours truly. Furthermore, once yours truly seized the chance, no matter how strong one was, they would definitely quiver under his might eventually. Grandmaster Yun looked at Lin Fan and realized that this man wasn't joking, just nodding his head earnestly. Grandmaster Yun, I'm going to have to trouble you for this then. Please use 1% of your strength to come at me first. After contemplating for a moment, Lin Fan did not dare to take on too much. After all, Grandmaster Yun was really strong. If he were to die under a single punch that he couldn't endure, that would definitely be a true tragedy. Are you certain? Grandmaster Yun asked worriedly. Absolutely. Whack me. Lin Fan took in a deep breath. Grandmaster Yun looked at Lin Fan before throwing out the punch. The moment the punch was thrown out, Lin Fan realized that there was no way he could dodge it at all. This was the suppression of true power. Divine Celestial Level 8, Universal Elixir State. Even though he toned down his strength, the punch still seemed as though it delved within the heaven and earth, slamming down while crushing all the oceans and seas. Bam! Lin Fan could sense an immense amount of power coursing through his body, causing the blood within his entire body to rumble furiously. He spat out a mouthful of blood. To think that just 1% of his entire strength would be this strong. How frightening was this? Ding, Eternal God Body Experience Points plus 5,000, are you alright? Looking at how Lin Fan was spitting out blood, Grandmaster Yun asked in worry. It's alright. Please continue. Lin Fan churned his blood sea and repressed that rumbling of his blood immediately. The boundless life force of the mythical parasol tree rummaged and gushed into Lin Fan's body immediately. All right, Grandmaster Yun nodded his head. Through that single punch, he had also realized how strong Lin Fan's physical body was. Your physical body is truly strong indeed. If I were to compare with you just based on physical body state, I wouldn't be your match, Grandmaster Yun acknowledged. It wasn't that there weren't any physical body skills in the Cloud Sect. However, it was an arduous process to train with them, and there weren't many people who could bear with something like this. Furthermore, as one's cultivation state increased, their defensive capabilities would definitely increase indirectly with their powers and skills as well. Because of that, there weren't that many people who were willing to train up physical body skills. Lin Fan smiled casually. This was simply the best feeling ever. This was especially the case when he heard the notifications of experience points from the system. This was practically music to his ears. Please use 2% of your strength now. Alright, ding, Eternal God Body Experience Points plus 6,000, with the rise in power level, Lin Fan almost couldn't bear with it. However, this was the fastest way for him to raise his physical body state. Even if he couldn't bear with it, he had to. Within this main hall, Lin Fan stood there putting on a pained face while enjoying the process immensely. As for Grandmaster Yun, his hands did not stop for even a single moment. The blows punched down like a shower on Lin Fan's body. OOSE. Awesome. More please. Ding, Eternal God Body Experience Points plus 6,000. Just like that, a few days had passed. The disciples of the Cloud Sect did not catch sight of their Grandmaster nor that human at all. Fairy Hong Yun was a little dejected at this moment. Could Lin Fan have already left? Why hadn't he said anything to her at all? And indeed, Lu Hen had turned over a new leaf entirely. He was no longer colluding in groups and fighting over politics. He would still bring disciples with him into the secret grounds. However, he would now watch over and instruct them, helping them to train up and boost their own strength. It had been a few days since Meng Hengtian had caught sight of the Grandmaster as well. However, he was noting the changes in Lu Hen within his heart. Therefore, he made the trip down to the main hall today to find the Grandmaster in order to report this piece of good news. However, Meng Hengtian slowed down on his footsteps as he came before the main hall. That initially heartened smile of his turned extremely strange. This was because he was hearing weird sounds coming from within the main hall. Good. Pleasurable. This is way too pleasurable. Harder, please. Huff, huff, to think that your body would be this strong. It's been a few days now. In fact, even I'm feeling a little tired. What can this amount to? I'll have you know that we'll keep at this for another 10 days and nights, haha. Good. If you can't endure it any longer, you've got to let me know, all right? How can I possibly not endure it? The only sensation I'm feeling right now is pleasure. Standing before the main hall, Meng Hengshan's face was extremely alarmed. He was familiar with these voices. One of them was his Grand Master, while the other belonged to that human. But why were the sounds that were coming forth from the main hall as such? Piak, piak, ah, that feels good. This voice had Meng Hengtian shuddering in cold sweat uncontrollably. Suddenly, he recalled something extremely horrifying. Back when the Grand Master was young in his youth, there were female beings of the thousands of races who had professed their affections for him. However, the Grand Master had always turned them down flatly. But the voices and noises coming from the main hall right now were causing Meng Hengshan's imagination to go wild. Grand Master. How can he be doing something as such? What are we to do if the disciples were to catch wind of this? Meng Hengtian couldn't accept this reality before him. However, he knew that the disciples of the Cloud sect must never ever find out about this as well. Therefore, he made the preparations to stand guard outside the main hall to prevent any disciples from getting close. Haha. Grandmaster Yun, this feels too good. How about you? Do you feel good as well? Of course. This is the first time I'm experiencing a feeling as such. Alright, I'm going to increase my speed now, alright? Wow, sure. Come on, I'm prepared for it. Meng Hengtian was in such a fluster that he was wriggling his toes with one another now. How could his Grandmaster be like this? Feel good? Increasing his speed? Prepared? This. At this moment, Meng Hengshan's tears streamed down his face continuously. Thinking of how this human was brought back by Yunhe, he was already harboring an impulse to chop Yunhe to death. And just at this moment, a disciple came running by. Stand right there. The Grand Master is in the midst of cultivating. Do not disturb him. Meng Hengtian scolded. The disciple was stunned as he stopped in his tracks. He wasn't even here to look for the Grand Master. He was just passing by, that was all. However, realizing that the person who was speaking was Elder Meng Hengtian, he had no choice but to just leave the area. However, this particular disciple's hearing was extremely sharp. He picked up those relentless sounds that were emanating from the main hall. Momentarily, his face flushed red as he fled the scene, sensing that something strange was going on. Within the main hall, Lin Fan was feeling way too comfortable right now. Days and nights had passed without them taking a break. His physical body state had skyrocketed as well. Right now, it was at the Divine Celestial Level 6, Law state. If they were to continue at this speed, there was even hope of his physical body state reaching that of a Divine Celestial Level 8, Universal Elixir state. He had really struck gold this time around. Following Elder Yunhe back to the Cloud sect had certainly reaped in big rewards for him. Not only did he manage to read the books within the library entirely, he had managed to raise his physical body state to this extent as well. This was something that Lin Fan would have never expected to happen at all. Listening to the noises within the main hall, Meng Hengtian's entire soul felt as though it was crumbling down. Grand Master, I know that you're under much stress. But you shouldn't choose a man because of that. There are countless admirable females who are in love with you. But why have things come to this? Meng Hengtian could not wait to rush in right now and stop this indecent act that was going on right now. However, if he were to do that, the Grand Master would definitely be in a bad position to react. Because of that, Meng Hengtian could only bear with it silently in his heart. Chapter 618 Chapter 618, Completion of the Physical Body. Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_ Meng Hengshan's heart was bleeding right now. This was a tragedy for their sect. However, now that things had already started being this way, what else could they do about it? Grand Master, just this one time. And, let it be the last as well. I, Meng Hengtian, will not allow you to continue down this path of wrongdoing. Meng Hengtian already had plans of his own. Since it had already happened, one might as well let it go on then. It's just that after this was done, he would definitely seek out some talented females amongst the beings of the thousands of races for their Grand Master to settle down with. The sounds coming from the main hall were relentless. If not for the fact that Meng Hengshan's heart was pretty firm and resolute, he would have definitely spat out a mouthful of blood by now. Everything that was happening today was far beyond what Meng Hengtian was able to endure. The image of his imagination was piercing to his eyes. And just at this moment, a voice that had Meng Hengtian freeze up in disbelief rang out. "Ah, Hengtian. What are you doing outside? Hurry up and come in. I'm getting a little tired now. This little friend of ours, Lin Fan, he's too strong. I've been at this for a few days now. Come in and help me take off some of the load." The voice of Grandmaster Yun rang out from within the house. Meng Hengtian's face changed immediately. "Gee, Grandmaster. You. Meng Hengtian was entirely speechless right now. To think that his Grandmaster would spout out such words. He couldn't take it anymore. He was a little tired. He needed someone to help take the load. Meng Hengtian reared his head up into the skies, as though he was completely devoid of hope right now. "No, Grandmaster. I'll just stand guard outside for you and ensure that no one gets close." Meng Hengtian was bleeding in his heart right now. Why had his Grandmaster turned this way? Just what in the world was so good about that human being? However, the next sentence that followed had Meng Hengtian spitting out his blood. "It's all right. If there are any strong disciples passing by, have them come in as well and join us." Thud. Meng Hengtian's body jerked involuntarily as he sprayed out a mouthful of blood. Those lost eyes of his turned around and glared at the doors of the main hall. What was this all about? Was the Grandmaster possessed and lost? No, I've got to stop this. Even if it costs me my life, I can't let the Grandmaster continue to err in his ways. With that, Meng Hengtian took a huge step forth. Even though this was basically a small step in reality, to Meng Hengtian, it was a big leap. It was a mental barrier that he was crossing right now more than anything else. He had to prevent all of these from happening. This was to ensure that the brilliant radiance of the Cloud Sect would get to shine in every single corner of this place. Meng Hengtian had already prepared himself mentally. No matter the outcome, he would be able to bear with it. Creak. The door was pushed open slowly. Grandmaster, no. Meng Hengtian had already prepared himself mentally for this scene he was about to be faced with. However, the moment he pushed open the door, something did not seem to be right. "Grandmaster, what in the world are you doing right now?" He saw his Grandmaster raining fists on the body of Lin Fan. Not only that, the human Lin Fan was letting out a look of pleasure on his face. "Hengtian, you're here. Our little friend, Lin Fan, has a unique body type. He's able to train it up by being hit by others. I'm helping him right here. I think you should be able to help with your strength as well. Come, let us attack together and increase the speed." Grandmaster Yun explained in a huff. He had been going at it for a few days now. No matter how strong one was, it was inevitable for it to be taxing on him physically. Looking at this, Meng Hengtian heaved a sigh of relief. Seemed like he had been overthinking things. If he had known that this were the case, he wouldn't have reacted the way he did at all. "Elder Meng, seems like I've got trouble you." Lin Fan chuckled. This feeling was akin to riding a joy ride on an aeroplane right now. This was way too good and easy. His physical body state was already pretty strong to a certain extent right now. Every single punch of Grandmaster Yun brought with it an endless amount of strength. The moment it touched his body, it was converted into a warm current that entered his body and boosted his physical body strength from there on. "Don't worry about it, don't worry." Meng Hengtian laughed awkwardly and switched places with the Grandmaster. With that, Grandmaster Yun stopped his movements and began to recuperate his powers that he had lost through fatigue. Time passed by the seconds and minutes. Thus, Grandmaster Yun and Elder Meng Hengtian were brought within this loop of whackings. At the start, Meng Hengtian wasn't feeling anything much emotionally from these whackings. However, the more he whacked, the more he felt as though he was young once again. This was a feeling of reigning over the world and trampling over the masses. "Elder Meng, does it feel good?" Lin Fan was feeling extremely satisfied right now. Looking at the expression on Elder Meng's face, he knew that the other party must be feeling pretty pleasured doing this as well. After all, would there be anyone who wouldn't feel good whacking others? Yes. This is simply way too good. Meng Hengtian's hands were like dragons right now, interweaving with one another as he rained fist after fist onto Lin Fan's body. Ding, Eternal God Body Experience Points plus 15,000. Ding, Eternal God Body Experience Points plus 15,000. A few days later. Outside the main hall. The disciple who was chided by Meng Hengtian and forced to leave was now back with a few other disciples. This is the place. A few days ago, I heard things that I shouldn't be hearing right at this spot. Are you serious? Don't you lie to us, man. If the Grand Master were to catch wind of this, we'd all be dead meat. Didn't you say that Elder Meng was keeping watch outside here? Where's the Elder then? That's weird. Could it be that Elder Meng has left this place? Wait up, guys. Listen up, there's some more weird noises coming out right now. Haha. Grand Master. This is simply way too comfortable. Elder Meng, your speed is nowhere as fast as the Grand Master. Alright then. Let me increase my speed now then. These disciples looked at one another as fright filled their faces. That's the voice of Elder Meng, that's the voice of that human, Lin Fan as well. It can't be, right? It's been so many days now, and they're not done yet? The disciple did not know what else to say anymore. Everything was way too surreal right now. But, if this were surreal, what was going on with those voices then? Lin Fan, why are you bleeding? Can I not bleed? You're not controlling your strength well enough. All of these disciples were beginning to feel the fear ride up their heads. Bleed? Was he bleeding because he was being pounded too hard? A series of filthy images ran through the minds of these disciples like a cinema reel. Let's go. If we're discovered, we'll definitely be dead. That's right. It's hard to say that they might not choose to kill us in order to silence us over this. At this moment, all of these disciples fled in a flurry. They were in utter disbelief towards this scene right now. And the moment these disciples got back to their place, they spread out the news of this secretively. In the blink of an eye, the entire Cloud sect caught wind of this. The moment the guardian of the library heard of this event that was described by the disciples, his face changed as he left the library immediately. As for some of the other elders, they could not believe what they had just heard as well as they made their way over to the main hall. Right now, in the main hall, Lin Fan's gaze was shining with an unparalleled brilliance. It was done. It was finally done. His physical body state was now a divine celestial level 8, universal elixir state. After a duration of tens of days, he had finally reached it. Grandmaster Yun, Elder Meng, my sincerest thanks. At this moment, Lin Fan's essence, spirit, and vitality were at their peak. His entire body shone like a precious jade that emitted a holy glow consistently. His body was one with the universe. As long as the universe existed, so would his body. No evil shall penetrate this body of his, nor shall anything seek to destroy it. This was a great accomplishment of his physical body. From here on forth, within the ancient saint world, other than the utmost beings, who else could have the strength to kill him? Little friend, Lin Fan, we're way too exhausted right now. I've never ever felt fatigued like this. Grandmaster Yun and Elder Meng were huffing heavily right now. They were entirely spent. Even their hands were feeling numb and sore right now. They couldn't even keep track of the number of punches they had thrown out in this entire period of time. In any case, it was simply a lot, uncountable. However, Grandmaster Yun no longer knew what he could say about Lin Fan's physical body state. To think that even a full-powered strike from him as a divine celestial level 8, universe elixir state being couldn't deal any damage to the other party. This was simply way too far out of this world. With just this body alone, he would definitely be able to rule over the ancient saint world with overbearingness. The moment the three of them pushed open the doors of the main hall, they were greeted by a crowd of people. What are you guys trying to do? Grandmaster Yun asked, puzzled. All the elders glanced at one another, not knowing how they should reply. However, catching sight of the exhausted expressions on Grandmaster Yun and Elder Meng, they found them to be tuckered out entirely. On the other hand, that human looked especially invigorated and refreshed, with a high-tuned aura right now. Grandmaster, we've noticed that you hadn't appeared for a few days now. We were just wondering if anything had happened. An elder spoke up. Oh, I and Hengtian were just helping our little friend, Lin Fan, with a set of skills. Now that it's completed, we were just heading out. Even though Grandmaster Yun was feeling really tired right now, he was really pleased in his heart. This was because he had just witnessed the rise of the pride of the human race. From this day forth, there would definitely be hope for the beings of the thousands of races out there. Since this was the explanation offered by the Grand Master, all the other elders buried the doubts right into the depths of their hearts. However, this matter would always remain within the Cloud sect as an unsolvable mystery. Just what in the world were the three of them engaged in within the main hall of the Cloud sect? Why did Grandmaster Yun and Elder Meng look so exhausted? However, Lin Fan on the other hand had a pretty bad feeling as he caught sight of the weird gazes that everyone was casting upon them. Could there have been some sort of a misunderstanding? Chapter 619 None, but even if there truly were a misunderstanding, so be it then. Now that his physical body state was already that of a divine celestial level 8, universal elixir state, the feeling was enough to have him floating on cloud 9. From here on forth, he would slay everyone he came across with ease, be it a god or Buddha. This feeling of dominance resurged through him once more. Back when Lin Fan had just arrived in the ancient saint world and was getting more involved in it, he had realized just how difficult it was for powerful beings of the ancient saint world to act out extravagantly in this place. However, things were going to be different now. His physical body state was that of a divine celestial level 8, universal elixir state right now. From here on forth, his path of acting *T would be more assured than ever. He no longer had any use of staying within the Cloud sect any longer. He might as well start taking a walk outside and slaying some powerful beings of the ancient race in order to boost his own cultivation state. Even if he were to meet the sovereign Kingway of the ancient race once more, he wasn't afraid anymore. So what? The most they could do was to fight. And who was afraid of that? Grandmaster Yun and Elder Meng had headed back to take a rest. In this period of time, they had completely exhausted themselves in order to achieve Lin Fan's goal. Han Yun's residence, Lin Fan was prepared to bid farewell to Han Yun. At the same time, he would inquire about where to find the remaining connate 5 elements. Right now, he had already gathered 3 of the connate 5 elements. There were still 2 more left in order for him to complete his collection. Once all of them were gathered, the demon city would be able to evolve with the fulfillment of the 5 elements. By then, the power of the demon city was truly going to go berserk. "You're here." A voice rang out from within Han Yun's house. Yes, Lin Fan nodded. "When are you planning to leave?" "In a little while." The noises within the house quieted down. With a creak, the door of the house opened up, and Fairy Han Yun walked out from the house briskly, holding onto a scroll in her hands. This is where the connate elements of wood and metal resides. However, the place is fraught with dangers. If you're headed there, you must absolutely be careful. Fairy Han Yun handed over the scroll to Lin Fan and added with a tone of concern. Lin Fan took the scroll from her and kept it within his storage. He then waved over to Fairy Han Yun. "Many thanks." "Yes," Fairy Han Yun replied casually. It was as though she didn't really want to see Lin Fan right now. At this moment, Lin Fan felt the awkwardness in the air. He then turned around to leave. Looking at the back view of Lin Fan, Fairy Han Yun let out a really weird gaze in her eyes. She seemed pretty dejected at this moment. Lin Fan had been thinking about this the entire time. Was yours truly really born with a really charismatic face? Was this the reason why chicks would always feel an uncontrollable sense of liking towards him when they caught sight of his peerless features and disposition? "Once I overthrow the ancient race, I'll come back for you." Lin Fan did not turn back as he commented resolutely. "All right." With a single leap from the ground, Lin Fan disappeared from Han Yun's point of vision. The next time he appeared, he was already at the boundaries of the Cloud sect. Lin Fan wanted to point out with his finger to rip a hole in the void using a special power. However, just at that moment, a figure appeared before his face. Lin Fan looked at this man before him and frowned. "You are?" The man before him had the face of a youth. His was exceptionally elegant with an extraordinary disposition. However, this wasn't his actual body. "Hi there, little buddy. I'm Yun Jongyun." The young man smiled casually, revealing his red lips and pearly white teeth. He looked extremely scholarly and weak. However, every single smile and action of his was fused together with the heaven and earth into one. The moment Lin Fan heard this name, his expression changed a little as he spouted out, "You're the founder ancestor of the Cloud Sect." Lin Fan had not expected this young man to be the founder ancestor of the Cloud Sect. Yun Jongyun grinned a little. His eyes brought with him a heartened look. Grabbing out into the void, a single golden shining imprint broke through the void and was sucked over. Within the void, it was changing rapidly. A moment and it was a dragon, a snake, an eagle, a god, a demon. "Here's a gift for you. I hope that you'll use it well." "Founder Ancestor Yun, what's this?" Lin Fan asked hurriedly. However, Founder Ancestor Yun only smiled indifferently as he gradually dissipated. The heaven and earth returned to normalcy as though nothing has happened at all. The only thing remaining was that golden imprint that floated in the void. Lin Fan could not figure out just what this Founder Ancestor Yun was trying to do. However, he stretched out his hands and grabbed the imprint nevertheless. "Ding, congratulations on discovering Conate Paradise imprint. Do you wish to absorb it, eh?" The moment Lin Fan heard the notifications from the system, he was stunned momentarily. Holy f***ck. To think that I could still receive something so good before I leave. Could this truly be real? Lin Fan was somewhat in disbelief right now. However, there was no need to hesitate right now. This was something that was checked through by the system. Therefore, there could naturally be no risks to it. Absorb. Instantly, the imprint seeped into Lin Fan's body and fused into his paradise. Within his paradise, the imprint was emanating a godly might. Countless tiny rays of light were emitted from the body of this imprint. These thin threads of light increased in quantity. Eventually, they began to construct all sorts of living beings within the void. Just at this moment, a dragon's roar rang through the entire world. These threads of light started dancing like a dragon and slowly, they took on the shapes of gigantic dragons. The moment these gigantic dragons were formed, the character for the word dragon floated into the sky gently and imprinted itself into the Tao of his paradise. A fragrant floral scent blew across the entire place as flower spirits danced. They waved their gleaming wings and sang a series of melodious tunes. With that, the character for the word flower began to float up gently, and just like that dragon word from before, it fused into the Tao of the paradise. Just as Lin Fan thought that there would be more changes to come, he realized that there was no longer any spirit chi within his paradise. It had all been used up. And at the same time, Lin Fan was realizing that a massive change was happening within his paradise. The crystallized walls were being refined once more. In fact, Lin Fan could even feel his own power level rising at the same time. It was way stronger than before now. This is the paradise imprint. The founder ancestor must have given me this in order to help me complete my paradise even further. This is to build up towards creating a world within. However, the amount of resources required was simply way too much. Lin Fan's paradise was something that had gone through thousands of spirit chi cyclones. As such, the amount of spirit chi that this place possessed was as vast as the boundless seas. There was so much that there could be no possible way to extinguish it all. To think that it would be completely empty just after creating two living beings. How scary was this? This was especially the case when the dragon was created. Lin Fan realized that that had taken up most of the spirit chi within his paradise. It seemed like the stronger the living being created, the more the spirit chi that was required. I'm still way too poor. Lin Fan was exasperated right now. If only he had sufficient Shenyang pills to burst open into a spirit chi river. With that, he could definitely cultivate this entire imprint in one go. How strong would his paradise be by then? At this moment, the imprint seeped itself into Lin Fan's consciousness, floating and revolving without moving anywhere else. However, a single notion of Lin Fan's thoughts could activate this imprint. This was a pretty interesting thing to deal with as well. Robbery, slay the ancient race, raid the grounds of bad people, these were the three true paths of getting rich. Even though the speed at which the mythical parasol tree produced Shenyang pills was incredibly fast, it was still unable to keep up with the way Lin Fan was expending them. After keeping his paradise, Lin Fan carved open an entrance on the paradise of the Cloud Sect and vanished from where he was. On a mountain peak in the depths of the Cloud Sect, Grandmaster Yun looked at the spot where Lin Fan had vanished and sighed eventually. They had given this lad the greatest core of the Cloud sect. That imprint was a priceless treasure. Even if an utmost being of the ancient race were to catch sight of it, it would trigger a feeling of greed over this item in him. He could only hope that this lad would be able to grow strong enough. Chapter 620 Chapter 620 Top 10 Old Ancient Beast, Colossal Dragon Race Translator, Lam_editor, Hitesh_ Hong Yun does have quite the flair for drawing though. Lin Fan opened up the leather scroll that Fairy Hong Yun had handed him. Looking at the lines that were drawn, Lin Fan smiled cheerily. Directions, route, and forbidden grounds descriptions, all of these were clearly written and easy to understand. However, there was something that was troubling Lin Fan. These two forbidden grounds that possessed the 5 elements were in completely opposite directions. After contemplating for a while, Lin Fan decided that he had better head over to the secret grounds that possessed the connate element of metal. This secret ground was closer to where he was right now. Furthermore, there was something that caused Lin Fan to be happy over this. The lair of Sovereign King Wei wasn't too far from this secret ground. Once he was done with sweeping this secret ground clean, he would then go over and tear down Sovereign King Wei's house. Given Sovereign King Wei's position, there should be countless treasures and Shenyang pills. If he could sweep it clean, it would definitely bring forth a ton of fortune for him. Half a month later, Lin Fan was now far from the location of the Cloud sect, and had arrived at his new turf here. This ancient saint world is simply way too big. Even though the speed at which Lin Fan traveled through the void was fast, this still took him a good half a month. Even then, he still hadn't arrived at his destination yet. Lin Fan could not help but regard this as a tragedy entirely. At this moment, he was passing through a flourishing forest. As such, Lin Fan decided to make a stop and walk on the ground. After flying for such a long time, it was starting to feel a little tiring. Within this forest, there were also a number of ancient beasts. It was time to see if there were any strong ancient beasts around to hunt. Lin Fan knew that he must be around the center of the area right now. This place was more complicated in its surroundings. Therefore, it wouldn't be really surprising if he were to bump into any strong ancient beasts here. Roar. Just then, within the dense forest patch, a loud roar suddenly rang out. This cry was akin to thunder, causing those old trees in the forest to vibrate violently with leaves dropping all over the ground. What a strong roar. Since its voice is so loud, its constitution must be pretty good. If that's the case, its strength shouldn't be too far off either. Time to take a look. Lin Fan was elated right now. With that, he entered stealth mode and headed into the distance. When Lin Fan arrived at this destination and checked out the scene before him, something didn't seem too right. Old ancient beast? A gigantic dragon that was around 100 miles long was growling ferociously. It was in a fight with dozens of ancient beasts. However, there was something that was truly startling for Lin Fan. This gigantic dragon could speak. This is definitely not a being of the thousands of races. Within the beings of the thousands of races, there was the dragon race as well. However, compared to those beings of the dragon race, this dragon was still significantly different in its body. The scales that lined the body of this dragon were gleaming with a spectral glow. Each scale was similar to a mountain of its own. When it opened its mouth, its sharp teeth were enough to send chills down the back of one's spine. How dare you ancient beasts covet the bloodline of the colossal dragons? You're just seeking your own deaths. The colossal dragon growled angrily. Slamming out with a claw that covered the entire sky, it attacked those ancient beasts before it. In the eyes of this colossal dragon, those ancient beasts were nothing but ants. With a single swipe of his claw, meat and blood flew all over the place. To think that I would meet with one of the top 10 old ancient beasts, the colossal dragon race. This is interesting indeed. Lin Fan let out a cold grin as he smacked his lips. He hadn't tried eating dragon meat so far. Perhaps he might get the chance to later on. This colossal dragon's cultivation state was only that of a divine celestial level 4, undying state. For Lin Fan, it was extremely easy to take down something at this level. However, at this moment, Lin Fan couldn't bear with it any longer. If he were to allow them to carry on fighting, all of those ancient beasts would definitely be killed by the colossal dragon. No matter what those were living experience points. To think that these free experience points would appear before his very eyes. How could he let them out of his grasp just like that? Hold on there. Lin Fan came out of his stealth mode immediately. Taking a step forth, he appeared and stood between the colossal dragon and the ancient beasts. The eyes of the colossal dragon and the ancient beasts shone with a weird gleam. They could not figure out just what in the world this living being was trying to do. Ant-like living being. Go to hell. The colossal dragon growled in rage as its aura turned wild, swiping down at Lin Fan's head immediately. From Lin Fan's point of view, this single swipe was so all-encompassing that the sky seemed gray right now. Bam! The moment this gigantic claw of the colossal dragon landed on Lin Fan's head, it opened his jaws into a wide smile. To it, this living being must definitely have been crushed into a pancake by it. Holy f***ck. You damned colossal dragon. You're simply way too much. Lin Fan was pretty exasperated right now. To think that this dragon would strike out just because it was displeased over a single sentence. Did it have any beastly instincts within it at all? How is this possible? At this moment, the colossal dragon spoke up in disbelief. To think that this living being would be all right after that single slap by it. It could not help but tense its face up in the face of this situation. All of those other ancient beasts started growling madly as well. Along with a low murmur, they seemed to be getting wary of this living being. They wanted to eat up this colossal dragon so that they could steal away its dragon blood. To think that there would be someone from the human race appearing before their faces at this instant as well. Aren't you one of the top 10 old ancient beasts, the colossal dragon? Looking at this dragon whose body was so huge it was almost like a gigantic wall of its own, Lin Fan could not help but ask out of curiosity. That's right. Your dragon here is one of the members of the colossal dragon race, one of the top 10 old ancient beasts. What does a puny living being such as yourself want? The colossal dragon's tone was grand. Like a gigantic clock, it caused one's ears to vibrate immensely. Its voice was simply way too loud. Oh, nothing much. All I want to do is to kill you, then barbecue you, that's all. I've truly haven't tried dragon meat for myself yet. Lin Fan smiled. The moment the colossal dragon heard this, it flew into rage instantly, insolent. It had not ever expected that a mere puny living being would dare to spout such big words that it was going to devour itself. This guy was definitely just courting death. With that, the colossal dragon swung its massive tail and swiped out at Lin Fan. Heh, heh, Lin Fan chuckled out. He wasn't bothered about this in the least bit. The moment that gigantic tail of the colossal dragon swung out, he opened up his hands widely and blocked it with much ease. Huh? The face of the colossal dragon changed. It had not expected this living being to be able to defend against its tail with such ease. The scene that followed right after had the colossal dragon screaming out in pain. Lin Fan closed all 5 of his fingers together and chopped it down like a knife. All slice. Instantly, the tail of the dragon was sliced into multiple pieces. ArghachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachachThe ancient beasts who were fighting against the colossal dragon earlier on had their eyes filled with fear immediately after this scene. Right now, their limbs were retreating back steadily, all ready to make an escape right now. How dare you slap yours truly just because you're unhappy over a single sentence, colossal dragon? Since that's the case, there's no need for yours truly to play nicely with you either. Lin Fan leapt into the air and slammed out at the colossal dragon with a palm strike as well. Damned fella. How dare you slice off my tail? I'll have you dead. The colossal dragon howled out in anger as his malevolent attitude was shown to the world. However, under the single fist of Lin Fan, the colossal dragon was entirely helpless to resist. His body was cleaved into 2 immediately, deader than he could have ever been. Ding, congratulations on killing old ancient beast colossal dragon, ding, experience points plus 100,000, not bad, not bad. To think that this would grant me these many experience points. Lin Fan was extremely pleased at the experience points brought forth by the colossal dragon. Are you guys trying to run? Lin Fan cast his gaze over and realized that all of these ancient beasts here were trying to sneak away. Opening his fingers, a gigantic palm opened up and covered the entire sky. He then closed his fingers together. Bam, bam. Explosion sounds boomed out. Instantly, these ancient beasts were squished into rupturing by this power as their flesh and blood spewed everywhere. Ding! Congratulations on killing Divine Celestial Level 4, Undying State Ancient Beast. Ding! Congratulations on killing Divine Celestial Level 2, Realm State Ancient Beast. That was another hundreds of thousands of experience points for Lin Fan. Right now, grinding experience points was something really easy for him. Even though he was a Divine Celestial Level 4, Undying State being right now, he could easily kill anyone of the same cultivation state as him. This was the true meaning of bullying through power.